Hello everyone. So in this video, I want to talk to you about doing background research on the company that you're interviewing. And I know a lot of time, many of us don't think that taking time to look into the company that interviewing is necessary. But I can tell you this is one of the easiest ways that you can make a lasting impression, and you can develop a stronger connection with your interviewer and essentially help you get hired faster. So this is something that when I started my career as well, I didn't really do it too much in the beginning, but more and more I started to prepare for interviews, I realized, and when I was essentially doing more and more research, is when I realized the importance of this. So one of the few things that I would say, one of the few places that you can start, looking for, information about the company that you're interviewing is essentially, there are four that I've identified here. The first one is essentially your company website, right? So make sure that you go to the website and see, what their value pay, if they have a mission statement, if they have any values that they identify, and also things like looking into like what kind of products they have and things like that. So that's one of the easiest places that you can start looking, is essentially their company website. And the next place that I would say you can start doing some research for you to see what people say about what people say about working in the company, and what is the interview questions are like, and what are the salaries. And this information you can actually grab from Glassdoor. Glassdoor is essentially a platform that where people can go and basically talk about the companies they used to work, and also talk about some of the interviews they had with these companies, and then essentially get to know what this company is about and how it is to work there. So you can start looking into Glassdoor, and you will see there are also people put things like interview questions on there. How would that interview experience was like. So it's a really great website to kind of start doing your research on there as well. So the key thing here is to get to know and get a really good understanding about what the company is about, and I'll give you some of the questions that you can start answering when you're doing this research as well. And another place that obviously you can take a look at what the company is about is their LinkedIn company page. So simply go to LinkedIn and then state the company that you're getting interviewed and see if they have some sort of a company page set up. Usually you can see when you go to the company page, you can identify essentially if they have any good recent news that they like to that they posted on, and you can get a understanding about if you see there's an about section and a lot more details about the company page. So basically that's one of the first few places that I would go and look into. So first I would look at the company page, Glassdoor, and then I would go to the LinkedIn company page to see if there's any additional information that I didn't know about the company. And a lot of that company information, you can see there's a summarized version of it you will see available on the LinkedIn page there. And the next place that I would start looking to see if there's any good news or any news that is exciting about the company is essentially on Google News. I would go and see, for example, if you're interviewing for company like Google or Facebook, there are a lot of things that are coming out. But even if it's a mid-sized company or a small business, I would say do a little bit of research on the Google News and see if there's anything that is exciting that you can basically talk about in the interview. And you will see much of the time when I even mention some of the things that I read about their company, read about in the news, they would always would love to talk about them more. And they always, I feel every time I bring it up, their eyes light up. So that's one of the things that I kind of I started to do it as a practice, to do research on the company, get to know what the company do, what the services are, and if there's any recent news and things like that. So let me show you some of the questions that I kind of try to answer while I'm doing the company research. So if you're already interviewing for a company, I would start asking these questions when you're doing your own individual research. So one of the first things I would ask myself, what major products and services does this company produce, right? So that's one of the things that if I get hired by this company, it's very likely some sort of a product or service that I'm responsible for helping with. So I want to know what these things are. So know what their major products that they're selling, and what are their current services that they're offering. And the next is essentially company mission and values, right? So if you look into the company mission and values, you can really get to know the personality or what the company really care for, and whether these values and your mission, it doesn't make sense to you. So that way you know exactly if they, if there's a questions and things like that, and you can essentially bring up some of the values that these company care for, and then talk about how that value is also an important aspect that you care for as well. So get to know a little bit about their company mission and values and what they care for. And the next question is, I would say, is ask, look into what specific type of customers are they serving, right? So are they serving, consumers, right? Are they serving, large enterprise companies, or are they serving mid-sized companies? Are they serving small-sized companies? And if they are serving customer, what kind of industry are they serving, right? So there are companies that strictly serve other companies, and they only serve like tech companies, right? So they only service like healthcare companies. So know what type of customers that they are actually serving, so that way you can let them know, that it seems like your company's primarily focused on serving these type of customers, and if there's anything else I should know about your customer, kind of thing, right? So that's something that you can bring it up and talk about as well, and get to know what their major competitors are. Sometimes these questions come up, right? One of the situations I've had people ask me, who do you think our major competitors are? And I think I got like 2 of them out of the 3. So but knowing them, obviously they were happy to know that I did the initial research, right, on my own, to know what those guys are and who the major competitors are. So take time to know what their major competitors are as well, at least 1 or 2 or 3, and see if you can get some details on that. And the next one obviously is, see if they're in the news, right? And if so, what are the recent news about? If there's any positive news, that would be ideal. I would say if there's any positive news, bring it up on the conversation. It will show you that, again, you do your research, you know how to do research, right? And you're actually interested to join the company, that you went that far to kind of look into these things about the company. So know what their current news are, if there is any, and if so, if there's a positive news, right? Like, if you don't bring up any negative news, and then it will be a little bit tough to talk about. But if you bring in positive news, they will be pretty excited to listen to what you think about the positive news, and just bringing it up also will put you in a better light, right? So those are the things. So do what I would say, essentially take time to do company research. Focus on finding what the products and services are, their mission statement, what customers they serve, who their major competitors are, and if there's any current news. And you can use tools like their company page, you can use LinkedIn, right? You can use Glassdoor, and you can obviously see if there's anything on the news about them. So those are the specific pieces of advice I can give about company research, and I'll see you on the next video.